Thanking God demonstrates your belief in Him. Written and read by Brother Jerry Valenti. With the time getting closer for Him to be crucified, Jesus departs from Galilee for the final time and begins the trip that will eventually take Him and His disciples to Jerusalem. Early in this trip, He passes through Samaria and comes to a village where He encounters 10 men who are afflicted with leprosy. The law forbids people with this very contagious disease to be near other people. Think of it as legally enforced social distancing. So the 10 men stand at a distance from Jesus and call to Him, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." Luke 17:13. Jesus instructs the men to go show themselves to the priests, which is the process that is normally followed to verify that someone has been healed of leprosy. Even though the men are still afflicted, the white patches on their skin are still visible, they depart anyway. On their way to see the priests, their skin clears up. They're healed. 9 of the 10 men continue on their way to see the priests, but the 10th man turns back and returns to Jesus, falling at His feet to thank Him and glorify God for this miraculous healing. After recognizing that only this one man returned to thank God, Jesus tells the man, "Arise, go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole." Luke 17:19. The above story is a good lesson on the importance of thanking God for our blessings. Okay, maybe it's a basic lesson. We all know that we should be thanking God for what He does, right? But why is it important? Just to be polite? Because showing gratitude is a good thing? No, there is a reason that goes beyond politeness. In order to understand why it's important to thank God, let's look again at how the above story ends, with Jesus telling the man that his faith has made him whole. What does this statement mean? It means that the man's belief in Christ was sufficient for him to be cleansed of his sins and receive salvation. What did the man do that demonstrated this level of belief? He thanked Jesus for the miraculous healing. If the man had thought it was just a coincidence that the leprosy departed after talking to Jesus, he wouldn't have bothered to return to thank Him. Perhaps the other 9 men thought this way, but the 10th man was so certain that Jesus was the source of the healing that he made sure to go back to thank Him. So for this man, thanking the Lord was an indication that he believed in Him. How about today? If something good happens in the life of someone who doesn't have much or any belief in God, what do they typically attribute it to? Most likely their own skill, or perhaps someone else's. Could have been good luck, or even just a coincidence. Someone who doesn't really believe that God was responsible for doing something has no reason to say thank God. They just enjoy their good fortune and continue on their way. However, for those of us who believe that God is in our lives and does move on our behalf, we should make sure to thank Him for whatever He has done. Not just to be polite, but as a demonstration that we believe that God has done it. God knows what He does for people, and the way He sees which people recognize what He did is by who thanks Him for it. And when we thank Him publicly, it's a great way to demonstrate our belief to other people, and perhaps plant a seed of faith where it may not exist. So do your best to examine what's happening in your life and look for God's fingerprints on it. If you look close enough, you'll find that you have a lot to thank God for. Think of God sitting on His throne saying, "I helped all these people today, and just a small number believe enough to thank me for it." Then make sure you're one of that small number who is thanking God for all that He has done.